Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Jeremiah. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. I just want to come at you with a quick lesson, just giving you a little reminder and a warning, always to be on guard and always be watching for certain things, man, because it's the same old thing. Once you get into this truth and you start to discern spirits that's around, and those same spirits, man, are those spirits, man, they always saying some of the same things, and it's repetitive. And what I mean by that is that I came across the old dude, and he's going like based off of how he feels, and he's an older guy, he's an older Jake, and he's telling me how he feels and how he feel like I should do things and how he. And I'm like, man, you too old to be going off of how you feel. You should be going off of what you know, So and as an older man, him being my elder in age, he's supposed to be telling me things that's based off of the scriptures, right? Things that's based off of scriptures. Those are the things that's supposed to be coming out of his mouth. But I want to go ahead and start with this. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, and verse 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Right? Let the unrighteous man his thoughts. So he said, the wicked shall forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And there's a reason why he's saying his thoughts. And I want to get something just speaking on thoughts, because I heard this before I came into the truth, and I've been thinking about it. When I heard it, I wanted to look it up to see where it was. So I paraphrased it and looked it up. But your thoughts, you got to control your thoughts too. And it talks about that also. Now that I'm thinking about it, it talks about that also in the book of Sirach, like how he prayed for the Lord to set scourges around his thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Disciplinary tools around your thoughts. So your thoughts got to be controlled. You need to be praying for your thoughts to be controlled, because your thoughts will have actions behind it eventually. So you gotta try to tame your thoughts as well. This is why it says, "Let the wicked man forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts." Right? And this is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 20. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the riches of thy bedchamber. But he's saying, curse not the king in thy thoughts. You're not supposed to curse the king. You're not supposed to speak ill. Your thoughts need to be just as pure as your speech, if possible. And this is something that we got to be training ourselves as Israelite men and women. We got to be training ourselves this. And this is just a warning or to be aware of, something that you need to make sure that you're aware of, what you think is going to eventually have actions behind it, right? But again, it says, let the wicked forsake his ways, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. So the Most High God will have mercy upon that man if he forsake his ways and come back to the Most High God, right? And it says, verse 8, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor neither our ways, it says, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. So the Most High God's thoughts is not your thoughts. And the reason why I brought that out too is because, he was telling me about the way he thought and how he should be, and just the whole conversation was just, it was irksome. It was a very annoying. It was getting kind of irritated behind the whole conversation, because I'm like, man, for one, this is an elderly man, and how he's supposed to be speaking. His speech should be according to the scriptures, and I'm gonna get that right now, because the scriptures say that. This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 11. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 11. If any man speak let him speak of the oracles of God. The oracles of God is the law, statutes, and commandments, the whole Bible, right? Let him speak of the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Hamashiach Yahushai, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So your conversation, your speech is supposed to be according to the oracles of the Most High God. That's how a man's speech is supposed to be, according to the oracles of the Most High God. Like he was telling me his thoughts and how he felt, and how the how men and women are, and how he has a relationship with God, and can't nobody tell him no different. And it was just annoying. It was just an annoying conversation, man, all around. And I'm telling him, and I know that if I brought out the scriptures, because this has happened many a times, I bring out the scriptures with my phone. They're gonna take it as disrespectful. So I'm trying to, paraphrase these scriptures and quote these scriptures to this brother. And it's still, what I'm saying, no matter what, it ain't doing no good. It ain't doing no good because he's setting his ways too. He's setting his ways, and he's not gonna move because he thinks and feels what he's been doing is working, and it's going to work. And as an Israelite man, especially when you go out to the highways and byways, you really have a genuine compassion and love for your people, and you really want to see them do better. You know what I'm saying? Those brothers that stand out there in the streets, they stand out there in a hot summer, the cold winter, man, to teach this word, to show that our people can get back in the right mindset and to heal themselves, right? To heal themselves. So there's a genuine love out there, man. And the Most High God put the Spirit upon these men to go out there genuinely for free to teach this word. They're not doing it for money. We're not doing this for money. We're not going out to the highways and byways to get paid for it. It's spiritual money because we believe that the Most High God is going to pay us spiritually. But as far as physical money, right now, we're not getting paid for that, to do that. Right? We're genuinely going out there because we honestly, sincerely care about these people, our people. Right? So, when we hear a man or a woman speak a certain way, it just annoys us because we know the scriptures, right? And this man is going based off of how he feels, and we know what the scriptures say about how you feel. The Most High God don't care about your feelings. He didn't put you on the earth to tell him or everybody else how you feel. That's not what he put you on the earth for. That your design was not to speak on how you feel. You weren't designed that way. You was designed and created to do his will upon the earth because he knows best. That's what the rule is. He don't care about how you feel. Your feelings don't matter. This is the book of Jeremiah 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful. The heart is deceitful. That's a crazy thing because when I first came into the truth, I never would have thought the Bible would have spoke like that. Right? It says the heart is deceitful above all things, right? Above everything on this earth, our hearts, which is our mind, our hearts are deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Your heart is deceitful and desperately wicked, right? That's what the Bible say about our hearts, man. So it don't care. He don't care about how you feel. He don't care about what you think. He don't care about how you feel. All you need to do is obey and do his will. That's all you need to do. And the will is the whole Bible, the law, right? The law, statutes, and commandments, right? This is the book of Sirach chapter 10 and verse 12, and I'm bringing this out because this is what I saw, because you see this in a lot of people, and this can go for anything when it comes to sin. If a person's not obeying the law, statutes, and commandments, it's based off of this. This is the foundation of it. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 12. It says, the beginning of pride is when one departeth from God. Pride departs people from God. He's so proud. He's so proud that he don't want to hearken to the words of the Bible and what the Bible's actually saying. Right? When I'm paraphrasing these scriptures, I told him these are from the scriptures. This is from the Bible. This is what the Bible said. And I'm paraphrasing these scriptures. This is not how that's not a normal speech of me. I don't speak the way the Bible speaks like that. Right? So you can discern the difference between what a man is actually saying and what is actually being quoted from the Bible, right? So he's up in age. He's 50 something, so he knows what's how I'm speaking and how the Bible's speaking. And not even just that. I told him that I'm paraphrasing the scriptures, but I should have went on ahead and read the Bible as it is anyway. That's what I should have done. I ain't gonna lie. I should have done that. But it says, the beginning of pride is when one departs from God. Pride departs you from God. That is the beginning of the being departed from the Most High. Is you thinking that you know best when the Most High God knows best. He created you. He told you your heart is deceitful. You trying to go based off of how you feel? You trying to, your whole life, and you telling another brother how to rule his life based off of how you feel. Our feelings ain't got us nowhere. And that man, his feelings ain't got him nowhere. In the 50-something years he's been on this earth, the 50-something years he's been going based off of how he feels. Right? And you see another thing in our people, man. You see your people have a zeal according, of God, but not according to knowledge. You see that too. The brother has a passion for the Most High God, but he don't want to hearken to the knowledge that the Bible is actually telling him. The Bible's telling him to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, follow the law, statutes, and commandments, keep those, but he don't want to do it, right? And it's just prideful. It's all pride. It's all pride because he want to do what he wants to do. And this is what the Christian church. This is the product of the Christian church. The product of the Christian church is do what you feel, right? If you feel it's right, do it. That's what you should be doing. It has done a really bad thing for us as people, as a nation of Israel, right? And I can see why Hamashiach Yahushua had gray hairs at the age of 33, or white hairs at the age of 33. He was, not just, we asked his wisdom too, but the people of the nation of Israel was very stubborn. It's very hard-headed people, man. And it's hard to deal with these people like this. But it says the beginning of pride is when one departs from God. It says, and his heart is turned away from his maker. Pride has turned your heart away from the Most High God. The very being that created you, your pride caused you to turn away from the very being that created you. Your pride, right? Verse 13, for pride is the beginning of sin. Pride is the beginning of sin, man. This is the whole thing. Like I said, you can see it all throughout the nation of Israel, man. You can see it all throughout blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Pride departs us from sin. Pride it's the beginning of sin. It departs us from the Most High God. It's the very beginning of sin. It's very annoying, right? But to see a brother that's that old to be that prideful. For what? You don't have nothing. You don't have, brother looks, don't have nothing, man. It just is, it's sad. It really is sad. And it's sad that we're that stiff-necked and we're that hard-headed. But this ain't gonna be a long lesson. But it says, for pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abominations. Pride alone is an abomination. It says that pride, roughly paraphrasing, it says that pride is hateful before God and man. Pride is a hateful thing before God and man, right? So that's just that alone pours out as an abomination. That's what I'm trying to say, right? It says, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities. Pride is going to bring strange calamities upon you. I'm telling this man, he loved America so much. He's praying for America. When I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to be as humble as possible. I'm like, man, it's gonna get worse before it get better. Don't expect it to get any better. It's about to get real bad. You know what I'm saying? And this is according to the scriptures. It's about to get real bad out here. So I don't know why you praying for America, and he thought so proud, he thought so highly of wealthy people. Like what is the wealthy people? He made it sound like that wealthy people are perfect and pure, and the poor is dirty and full of demons, which they are, but the rich is too. The rich ain't no better. That don't make no sense, man. It don't. It's a lot of stuff that our people think don't make a lot of sense. It's pride. It stems from pride, being proud. It says, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew them utterly. And the Most High God's going to overthrow them utterly, right? It says, this is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 10, I'm starting verse 12. The words of a wise man's, the words of a wise man's mouth is gracious, but the lips of a foolish will swallow up himself. Right? Have you ever heard the expression that, you let a person speak, they'll hang themselves, right? And that's exactly what it's talking about. It says the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolish, and the end of his talk is mischievous, madness. And you see that a lot too, being out there on the streets. It's just mischievous and it's just madness, utterly madness. That's all it is. This is verse 14. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? A fool is full of words. Brother, I'm talking about, listen, I'm sitting here talking to this man the best I can, and it was hard to get a word in. It was hard to get a word in. I'm frustrated over here, and I'm trying not to be rude. I'm trying not to be disrespectful. And I understand this man is my elder of age, but he's very foolish because he's full of words. I'm like, hey, this is a conversation, right? Between two people. Can I speak? Can I help? Can I join in? And it wasn't even like, I'm telling you, this is a very frustrating, and it's very frustrating dealing with the nation of Israel. And a lot of you men of Israel know this, man. But this is what I ended with, man, and I was done with it. Man, and this is my last scripture. It said 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. Because he was saying, I got a personal, and he's so proud that he had a personal relationship, that he prays. And that's a beautiful thing that the brother prayed. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing that is true. That is a true thing that he do pray. And he's like, can't nobody tell me nothing about God. I pray. I read my Bible. Well, if you read the Bible, and especially in the New Testament, it tells you, 1 John chapter 2, verse 3, hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. And I quoted that word for word, right? You say you know him and you don't keep his commandments. The Bible says that you're a liar. This is in the New Testament. You are a liar according to the scriptures. And he kind of shut down a little bit, and he kind of, he started talking kind of, it was real clever and cunning and sneaky, man. He was like, well, after I quoted that, the world is full of demons, and you got demons all around you, and people in bad. I'm like, yeah, you that demon, brother, because you're not keeping no commandments. I was like, man, just keep the Sabbath day holy. Sabbath day is a Saturday. Keep the Sabbath holy, man, the best you can. This brother, he does the same thing every day. He goes to the gym. He works out 7 days a week. He goes, man, and I commended him for not going to church, because church is a very demonic place. It's a demonic place to be, right? And that's a place where he shouldn't go. And I wasn't encouraging him to go into church, because that is a very demonic place. But he should try to at least keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of his ability. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he talked about faith, and that was a beautiful thing. But I also told him, I said, faith without works is what? It's dead, right? And the brother he acted like he didn't even know that. Because I said it a couple times. I said, faith without works is what? Faith without works. And I paused like for a minute. I said, faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have faith. I mean, faith is a beautiful thing, and that's what pleases the Most High God. But you got to also have works behind that. You know what I'm saying? What's your works? You know what I'm saying? And then he talking about having love. And I said, you working, you having, you following, you doing the law, statutes, and commandments is going to produce love. It's going to produce the fruits of the Spirit. When you operate in the law with a good heart and a good mind, you're going to produce the fruits of the Spirit, that the way that the Most High God designed it to be. If you skipping past the law just to do the fruits of the Spirit, you violating a whole bunch of laws that the Most High God set up from the very beginning. Period. You're not doing it in the right way. That's not how it was designed. It wasn't designed for you to just skip over God's laws, because you're going back to square one, which is pride. You sinning all over again. right? Thinking that you're doing a good thing because you're just loving everybody. That's the same thing the Christian church teaches. It's to love everybody. And that's exactly what he was saying, man. Hey, listen, look, I'm going to read this again. This is 1 John chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 3. Hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily the love of God is perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. This is how we know that we're in him. If you keep his word, if you do operate after his word, if you operate after his word in a good heart, and you walk it in a good mindset, and it even tells you, it says that because you did not, let me get it. I'm roughly paraphrasing it. Slakia. Hold on. All right, this is Deuteronomy chapter 20, Deuteronomy 28 and 47. Deuteronomy 28 and 47, and it says, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness. Joyfulness is fruits of the Spirit. Because you didn't do it in a good manner, because you didn't do the laws in a good mindset, in a good spirit, you're not going to walk in the fruits of the Spirit. This is in the Old Testament. I'm reading Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness. Joyfulness, the spirit of the fruits of the Spirit is joyfulness. I'm going to finish this out. The Lord thy God, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Because we don't serve the Lord thy God with joyfulness and abundance of and gladness and abundance of heart, we suffer. We don't have the fruits of the Spirit because of that. But if we do it in operating in those spirits, in those attributes, we're going to produce those fruits. Right? Man, hey, look, at the end of the day, all I'm saying is, if you want a personal relationship, do what the Bible say. And the Bible tells us clear as day, he that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments is a liar. Right? So if you don't keep God's commandments, and you say you got a personal relationship with the Most High God, and you're not keeping his commandments, you're found out to be a liar when the truth ain't in you. Right? So, Lord willing, somebody was edified. And with that, I'm going to give all praises and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And shalom to the brothers and sisters pushing this truth and sincerity. And double honors to the elders that taught us this truth. With that, I'm going to say shalom, Barak Mashbaka.